Good morning, friends, and welcome to New Garden Friends Meeting Worship. I am Margaret Webb. I'm the pastor here at New Garden Friends Meeting, and it is such a joy to welcome you all to worship this morning. Our reading for this morning is from the book of Revelation. I'm reading chapter 1, verses 1 through 6. And I'm reading from the New International Version, but as you will hear, I have gone through and I have ungendered God within the text. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is among the people, and God will dwell with them, and they will be God's people, and God will be with them and will be their God. God will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." The one who is seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." And then they said, "Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true." And God said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." I don't often bring messages from the book of Revelation, not because I don't find value in it, but because its language and the way that it was written can make it difficult, I think, to access. If you have ever read the book of Revelation, you know that it is a strange, strange thing, and you have to work hard to find the meaning within its language and the structure of how it was written. But this passage spoke to me immediately. Even though it may seem like a strange fit to use this passage on the Sunday just after Christmas, when I first read it, my mind was focused on 2021. We are right on the brink of a new year. We are in the final days of 2020. And as we face that future together, this passage, which is ultimately about hope, was the passage that my heart needed. 2020 has been a painful and difficult year, I think, for all of us in different ways. This year, we have faced challenges that we could have never anticipated a year ago. Here at New Garden Friends Meeting, I have seen all of you move into digital worship and embrace new ways to connect and love one another in ways that we would have never imagined this time last year. I know that none of us would have chosen to be worshiping on Zoom for over 8 months. But I have seen all of you extend into this new and unfamiliar space. And I have seen you do so with courage and resilience. This community has made the very best of a difficult situation. It is that courage and resilience, coupled with the incredible creativity and innovation in how you have found community and maintained connections. It is all of that that brought to mind this vision of the kingdom of heaven. Our scripture passage for today shares with us a vision for the world that is growing around us. That world that is breaking through the world that we are familiar with, the kingdom of heaven, the New Jerusalem, the blessed world of justice and mercy and peace. It is a world where grieving and suffering has ended, a world where love thrives and flourishes, a world where the living divine, which we know is love, is tangible and real, not just in our personal lives, but also within the structure and systems of our world. The blessed kingdom is a place where oppression has ceased and where suffering is met continually with compassion. And I know that after the year that we have all had, after the 4 years that we've all had, after the lifetime that we've all had, this vision of the kingdom of heaven can seem like an impossibility. It feels a little unrealistic. We know that oppression is tenacious and vicious, that it has deep roots and systems within our world. We know that evil is not something that is easily defined or defied. We know that hate is powerful, and that the rich will rarely give away power without being forced to do so. We know too that it's easier to live numb, and sometimes it feels as if indifference has become the song of our world. It can feel like honesty and integrity has less and less value with each passing year. And yet, I see love in action every day. Every day, I see love standing up to hate, and I see love persisting in our world. I see the subtle but intense resistance of the grandmothers that I know, how they're working for a better world for their grandchildren. I see them tired of bowing their heads to intolerance, and so they stay aware and stay organized. I see the children, wise to the ways of injustice, teaching our world how to better care for the environment and teaching us to value life over our right to own guns. I see the activists, young and old, children and mothers and fathers and grandmothers, neighbors and friends and siblings. I see them all pepper sprayed to the ground, but still linking arms and marching on with the banner of Black Lives Matter. I see the people who are cooking meals for those who are sick or injured, who are bringing them hot dishes to bring them comfort in their time of need. I see those who are picking up groceries for those who are ill or are unable to pick up their own groceries. I see the people who are writing notes of encouragement and are faithfully mailing them, sending hope through our postal system. I see the people who are making calls to encourage others to get to the polls and vote, and the people who are standing in masks on street corners registering voters. I saw people making Christmas cookies and dropping them on others' porches. I see backyards, small massed gatherings where everyone is being careful and where laughter abounds. I saw the shower curtain contraption that a family came up with so that the grandmother could hug her grandchild safely. I see our healthcare workers completely exhausted and depleted, who are still putting on their masks and their gloves and are every day going on another shift to care for those who are sick. I see the scientists who have worked late into the night every night to make life-saving vaccines so that we can all live in a healthier world someday soon. I see the neighbors who help pay for their friend's electric bill. I see the friends who are paying for groceries for their friend who lost her job 6 months ago. I see sidewalk chalk notes of love. I see Zoom calls on birthdays and baby showers that are done by drive-by parade. I see people making the best of difficult circumstances, finding new and creative ways to build loving community with one another. And it is true that evil is powerful and real, and that greed seems to determine the course of our world. But I see love winning every day I see it winning in small ways and in great ways. I see it tenaciously and fiercely and radically busting open our world in ways that are surprising and ways that are subtle. I see people being strong and brave and tender and loving every day all around me. I see all of you and all of the good that you have done in 2020. And it is that is carrying me into 2021 with a hopeful spirit. We stand and face an uncertain future. Our world has been changed forever by 2020, by this pandemic that we are still in the middle of. Our world has also been changed by the ways that we are reckoning with systemic racism. Things are changing dramatically when it comes to how our world is recognizing and addressing racism. I think our world was also changed by the 2020 election. Certainly our country was changed by that election forever. And perhaps because of this, because of all of the ways that we are changing and have yet to change, this passage from Revelation spoke to me in a new way. Because I look at our future, I look into 2021, and I see all of the resilience and courage, all of the love of 2020. And I see that glimmer of the kingdom of heaven. I'm hopeful because I think all of us now have a deeper appreciation for community and connection, for hugs and coffee fellowship time. I feel hopeful because I see the ways that we have innovated and grown into a new digital world in ways that I could have never anticipated. I feel hopeful because we have survived and we have even thrived in many ways during this year, which was so incredibly unprecedented and challenging. I have no idea what is coming next in our world or for our community here at New Garden Friends Meeting. One thing that I have learned from 2020 is that it's hard to anticipate the future. But I do know that all of you are courageous and resilient. Here is my challenge to all of you as we face 2021 together. Before you take those first few steps into the new year, may you take time to reflect on the year that has gone before. And as you reflect on 2020, may you lift up the joys and the blessing of the year. I know they may be hard to find. It may be a challenge to look back on this year and to see joys and blessings. But I know that I was able to find a few, and I am so grateful for them. As you look forward, may you also take stock of the new tools that you have. One of the things about changing and innovating in the way that we have had to do in this past year is that all of us bring new tools to this new adventure that we are facing together. And as you look back, may you also recognize the times you were brave, the times you were resilient, and the times that you acted out of love. I also want you to take a few moments right now, this morning, and look at the names of the other people who are on Facebook Live with you, or the other people who are here on Zoom. If they have their cameras on, take a look at their faces. This is an important reminder to all of us that we are not alone, that no matter how isolated this year may have made us feel, that we are not without community, that we are surrounded by love, that we are surrounded by the fellowship of this group of people. As we face 2021, we are not alone. And we have all of the gifts and energy and talent and love and joy of this community of friends to help sustain us. Friends, I have no idea what the future will bring. But I know that love is in the unfolding.